Hey guys, how many of you have the habit of collecting half-finished projects? In this video, I'm going to build a really simple lift-top coffee table, and I will share some project management tips and tricks that will help you finish those projects. Let's go! I'm a filthy casual with a full-time job. I make things so I have a reason to put on pants and go out. Unlike some of you weirdos, I actually park cars in my garage. I have to constantly move my tools and benches around when I work. This means that time and space are very important for me. So my first project management tips is to only have one project at a time. This helped me to focus on finishing a project even when I lost interest. Also, I don't have space for multiple projects at a time, so there's that. Tips number 2. Break down your projects into smaller sessions. I made sure each session can be done within an hour or two to fit with my busy schedules. I wrote down what tools I need so that I minimize the setup and cleanup time for each session. Let's start this build with session 1. Skipping gym to lift materials out of my tiny SUV and rough cut them into smaller pieces. We need table saw, measuring tape, painter's tape, and marker. The painter's tape and marker will make sense in a bit. Now there is a research that shows that people usually quit project midway. Motivation is usually high at the beginning of the project because it's fresh, and at the end of the project because, well, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. This is why breaking down a project into smaller pieces is important so that you can feel small wins throughout the project. By the way, I got this information from a podcast called Hidden Brain. You guys should check it out. It's pretty cool. It's from NPR. I use painter's tape and marker to mark each piece's part name and measurements, mainly because I have a memory of an animated blue fish voiced by Ellen DeGeneres before she got cancelled.
See, I suffer from short-term memory loss.
Session 2. Preparing the joinery. Since this is a simple box-shaped coffee table, I'm going to use dado and pocket holes. Simple and fast as taught by one of the YouTube woodworkers OG to mere mortals like myself. The setup takes a bit longer because I never used dado on soft stop before, so I had to read the manuals.
Does anybody know how to read a manual?
Here's the next tip. When you're trying something new in your project, just like me finally trying dado on this saw, leave yourself a little bit more time. Also, you can try multiple new things on a project, but try to only have one per session. It makes it more manageable. And while we're at it, always test with your dado please, on scrap, before making the final cut. At this point, I still feel pretty good about the project. Everything been running quite smoothly, and no issues so far. Yeah, I hit the tripod. I need to build outfit table for this saw soon. Hashtag foreshadowing. Well, there you go. Joinery prepared, and this is the end of session 2. My original plan for session 3 was to build and dry fit the body and the base of this coffee table. However, that day I had a flight to catch in the afternoon. I thought I could wake up early in the morning and work more. I didn't. You can plan as much as you can, but in every project there will be time that things don't go as planned, and that's okay. Adapt and move along. In my case, I ended up building the base and test stain color on scrap. It was not as much as what I planned before, but it was still a progress. I'm happy. Session 4. Dry fitting the body and cutting the bottom base. While you guys are watching the B-rolls of this session, I have a confession to make. I consider myself a beginner maker and I have almost non-existent skills to share. However, I'm pretty good at problem solving and building efficient processes, which is why I make this video the way it is. If you guys find this useful and entertaining, I would appreciate a like and subscribe. Yes, I just did that. Session 5. Assembling the body. Remember at the beginning of the video I said that usually you lost interest midway? This is around the time that happened to me, and this is usually when I procrastinate. So here's a tip to procrastinate less. Have a deadline. No, I'm not talking about tight deadline. It can be arbitrary for all I care, but as long as you have a deadline, generally you will procrastinate less. I mean, at least it worked for me, I don't know about you. You might notice that I have two brands of clamps here, Bessie and Harbor Freight. Here's something I found. They both work equally as well. For the price I got it from Harbor Freight, it worth every penny. There, I saved you guys from hours of review videos. Also, it might be just me, but I think good clamp job is beautiful.
Dear God, it's beautiful.
Session 6. Assembling and cutting the top. I'm not going to talk a lot here other than the fact that this is when I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Neat, neat. Neat, neat. Neat, neat.
That's right, I used the same cutscene twice on one video. Deal with it. The final session is not really one session. This last part is what I called Microsessions. Stains and finishes takes time to cure. This is why I usually do this in Microsessions throughout the day on multiple days. I always do these Microsessions at the end of every project. I leave myself enough time so that I can let the stain and finishes dry properly. It also gives me time to do last minute touch-ups if needed. Also, sometimes shit happens even when you're so close towards the finish line. Like this, the lift top hardware is installed the wrong way. No problem, just need to fix that. You might wonder why you don't see me sand the project. I just don't record it because YouTube makes you believe that people don't enjoy sanding. I don't know why. I enjoy sanding, especially since I got myself a Festool sander. Something else that YouTube makes you believe that people either love or hate with passion. My point is, you just need to take strangers on the internet with a grain of salt, myself included. For all you know, I just bullshit my way through this video. With that being said, this is the end of the project. Let's roll the beauty clip.